Alright, you guys, welcome back to some more Hapymaher. Hopefully we're done with the nudity, at least for this episode. I think I've actually spent more time editing these episodes than I actually have been recording them, so that says something. Anyways, we had gotten dressed and we're having lunch. Just what I like to hear. Still seemingly mad that I saw her naked, Alice's face was a little red and she was sitting a ways away. Alice, I'm sorry about earlier.
トールはそんなに悪くないし、事故だってのも分かってる。だけど、見られたものは見られたんだから恥ずかしいんだって。
She protested as she munched on a rice ball.
というか、内藤くん、本当に元に戻ったんですね。
Why you look so disappointed? I know why, but still. Yeah, I have. Maybe the bathwater helped. Yeah, bathwater. Sure. Maybe it was true that it helped cure illnesses. Maybe getting totally relaxed at the hot springs had allowed me to regain my original form. It wasn't, everything else that happened. After all, I had been having dirty thoughts about pretty much everyone long before Yayoi and I had sex.
果たして全部温泉のおかげでしょうか。
Sure. Yeah, just the hot springs, nothing else. That Hirosaka, she bit into a vegetable stick. She was clearly trying not to make eye contact with me. Alice perked up like a cat sensing danger. Saki glared at me like a strict dormitory RA who had caught someone breaking the rules. How do I explain this? Yayoi, who was sitting next to me, gently took my hand.
私がトールを男にしました。
How do you just so casually say that? Just like that, a cold snap descended onto the table. No, it was more like one of those slow motion videos of a balloon popping. There was a brief moment where the balloon still held its size right before shrinking into almost nothing. Then, the chopsticks in Saki's hand snapped in half. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
そうなの。へえ。
Why do you always want me to explain?
兄さん、きちんと説明してくれるかしら。
I think Yayoi is really good at telling stories. I think Yayoi should explain this one. Imagine if you could. The world splitting in two. A deep earthquake-esque rumbling leading up to an impending deafening crack. That was kind of how I felt.
というか、自慢げに話すことですか。あら、稽古ってば何を想像したのかしら。私が今想像してるようなことをしていないとは思いませんけど。
Wow, okay. Hirosaka looked clearly displeased, but Yayoi was clearly enjoying herself.
さっき二人とも裸でくっついてたし、いや私現場を見たわけじゃないんだけどね。
I want y'all to look real quick, okay? I want you to notice, out of all the portraits right now that we have going, who is smiling and who is frowning. So there's definitely some people concerned here in this picture, and there's some people that are smiling. And the people that are smiling, only one of them has a right to be smiling. The other two are clearly not wanting to smile, and that's how they're covering up something deeper below. Yayoi waved her hand for Alice to continue.
やっぱりその、エッチしたの？ええ、したわよ。
Actually, I'll say this. Yayoi was the one who I think should be smiling in the situation. Obviously she has the upper hand in this situation. It's kind of just funny. Takahara is probably smiling too. And now that I thought about it, this means that we're probably not going to get with Saki in her eyes. So she sees this as less of a threat. And she's like, okay, sure. Whatever. Yayoi said bluntly, and the ominous aura coming from Saki increased.
よくやったわ。
Good job. Here, I'll move out the way so you can see that. Good job. Takara-san patted my shoulder, looking very happy. I'm just imagining freaking Shiro from No Game No Life. Omega, good job, big bro. I knew you'd say that. Normally, the situation would be a point of concern for my
そ
guardian.
のくらいの年になれば、自分の責任くらい分かってるでしょ
Not responsible enough for Saki, apparently. She continued to pat my shoulder
う。
happily.
残念ながら、内藤くんは他の人とお付き合いするそうです。ああ、本当に残念ですね。
Very unfortunate indeed.
今初めて高原さんを憎たらしいと思いました。
This is the first time?
あら、だけど私そんなに低粛な女に見える？もっと遊び好きに思われると思ったのに。
Yayoi twirled a lock of her hair.
鎧先輩、それはどういう意味ですか？トールがかわいそうだから男にしてあげただけで一回きりの遊びかもしれないわよ。
What? Felt sorry for me, huh? Hold up here. Hold up. You were the one telling me your sad sob story. I don't want to hear that.
一度抱いただけで彼氏気取りかとでも言うつもりですか？
What are you saying? Of course I think that. I pulled Yayoi over to me and she gave me a surprised look.
私がそんなつもりなかったって言っても？
In that case, I'll try my best until you do.
なんかトールが男の子だ。
What is that supposed to mean, huh? Saki and Hirosaka clicked their tongues at the same time. Alice was embarrassed and Takahara-san was pleased that Saki was now out of my sights.
じゃあ頑張ってね。
Or out of her sights, I guess. Yayoi hugged my arm happily as she was trying to provoke me. Hold up, why is she changing up her story like that? Is that really true, or is she just trying to cover up to make this not as bad of a situation? I was walking by myself in front of the station. After all that, I had returned to normal and appeared before everyone as though nothing had happened. I feel like this is the calm right before we get stabbed in the streets by some random person. And then Saki's just glaring over us with, like, yandere eyes. Everyone was curious as to how I had turned back to normal. Not that turning into a girl in the first place wasn't strange. But there was no way I could give a good explanation. Upon returning to normal, Club Prez offered a triumphant C, so maybe she actually knew the solution all along. Something that would be meaningless if she told me, huh? She did say something to that effect, and she had turned out to be right. So she couldn't say that she was just gonna have sex with us to turn us back. Is that kind of what we're getting at? I don't know how much she told me to be aware of myself as a man. If I didn't truly feel it, then there'd be no point. Yeah, so it would have been meaningless if there wasn't more emotion behind it. I don't feel like this is fully true, though, in the fact that Yayoi was kind of lying necessarily about how maybe she felt. On the way back, she said something about how if I thought about it too hard and then failed, then I wouldn't have any prospects for turning back to normal. Since this was a dream, if I focused on being a man, then I would probably return to normal naturally. At least that was her prediction. She had certainly adjusted to this situation rather quickly. And to think she was practically a newbie when it came to dreams, unlike me and Alice. As I walked home thinking over this whole situation, a cold winter breeze kicked up. So cold. I gotta get home. We had prepared some clothes in the event I turned back into a guy, but it wasn't quite enough for this kind of weather. After the sun had set, it got even colder quickly, chilling my body after I had just warmed up at the hot springs. By the way, Club Prez had wanted to spend the night in my apartment again, but Saki Takahara-san wouldn't allow it since I turned back into a guy. This marked the first time in 3 days she had slept at home. She wasn't terribly happy with the prospect since she was originally staying at my place because it was uncomfortable for her at home. Although it's hard for Hirosaka to be at home too. Her situation was a little bit more serious. It wasn't just something she could put up with, since her father wasn't worried about her in the first place, though she could spend the night at the Hasuno estate. The Hasuno family had gotten used to having Hirosaka around. But she could probably only stay for the duration of winter break. Once school started, she would have to go home. What if this dream keeps going even into the new semester? I smiled wryly at the thought. New semester in a world where dreams and reality are all mixed up? This wasn't the time to be worried about the humdrum of everyday life. Even just a short while ago, I'd been turned into a girl without understanding why. Yeah, maybe it's better you don't. Maybe it's better you don't. I managed to turn back, but the conditions had been as I imagined that I don't know if I'd be able to do it again. The Christmas Princess incident and the subsequent escape via Santa's sleigh. Our days have been a crazy mix of dreams and reality ever since. When is this crazy dream going to end? Is there even an end in the first place? Are we ever going to wake up? What if we had to live the rest of our lives in this world where the absurd happened every time we blinked? My past self might have been overwhelmed by the anxiety. Well, I hope we can figure something out. These words felt hollow as they came out of my mouth. What if I'd become a girl? Even with that, I had eventually turned back to normal. Same with old answers before that, we managed to get through them just fine. If we really wanted to return things to normal, then all we had to do was keep doing what we've been doing, no matter how many times we had to do it. Even in this messed up world, the strange incidents were never permanent. We just had to return it to normal, and we just had to return it to normal, and we'd been able to do that every time, at least up until now. And I don't believe that was all we could do. It didn't look like we had accomplished anything, but we definitely had. If we hadn't, then we wouldn't be here. That's right, and as proof that we weren't stuck in the same state, there was the fact that my relationship with Club Prez had changed a lot. She acted so tough when in reality she was so lonely that I couldn't just leave her be. It didn't seem like a bad thing that Club Prez started showing me her more vulnerable side. Yeah, you could say that again. Our relationship was definitely moving along. In that sense, no matter how crazy the world got, what was important didn't change. I honestly felt that way. I suddenly saw blue sky, a white room. That tea party room with sweets that I saw in the dream? Where was I? Why was there blue sky everywhere? Ah, did I fall from there? Was that why I was flying? In that case, why are you here, Alice? Just like that, the moment I blinked, the scenery was gone. I felt dizzy for a moment. Was that why I saw that room? Now I couldn't even clearly remember what I had seen. It was like forgetting a dream when you wake up. Something about it caught my attention, but I couldn't remember any of the details. What had I seen just now? I had come close to realizing something. Okay, I'm really confused what was just happening. We, just blinked. We're talking about how we blink sometimes and crazy things happen. We just literally did that right after we were talking about it. You know what I think would be cool? And I don't know if that's the case or not. That would be cool if at some earlier point we jumped into Alice's route. Then something happened right there. And once we go into Alice's route, we'll get more of that explained. What just happened. Like, we just, did, some dream sequence throughout that whole thing right there. And then we just kind of came back onto the route. And right now, we don't have any recollection of what just happened. We don't have any context. But, once we go into Alice's route, then that whole thing that just happens here makes sense. I love when shows do that, when they kind of just, go back to a certain point and explain more. Something that caught my attention, but I couldn't remember the details. What had I seen just now? I came close to realizing something. There was only blue. Now there was a white room. And with that sneeze, everything was gone. Huh? Hold on a minute. Wasn't I just thinking of something important, and yet blue? I could no longer even remember anything but that color, even though I'd seen it somewhere. It disappeared like a dream. Why didn't I have her drop me off with the car? I stared in the direction the Takara-san had driven off in. Oh, did we get dropped off in the sleigh or something? She had offered to take me home, but I wanted to be alone for a while, so she dropped me off in front of the station. I didn't think it would be this cold. It felt like it might snow. Maybe I was going to catch a cold. So cold. Let's go home. I get the feeling that I had been thinking about something, but I couldn't remember what, so it couldn't be too important. I was going to go home, go to bed, but then I would talk to everyone in the dream room and think about what we should do next. What would happen in this dream once the new semester started? Even if nothing happened with the dream, what would happen with my relationship with Saki, and Club Prez, and Hirosaka, and Alice, who couldn't remember who she was? Just then, I get the feeling that someone was trying to get my attention. Alice? I get that feeling, but... Hasn't this happened before? Kinda earlier on in the game? We thought we, heard somebody? I don't know. This whole scene right here makes me think, this moment's gonna change depending on who we're with. Or who, we've kind of selected options up until now. It's gonna seem really cryptic, you know, because it seems like Yayoi just came in here and just kind of ruined whatever was about to happen, possibly. Our connection. Interesting. I like when they do this, because it makes me oh, something's gonna happen, but then it doesn't happen right away. You gotta, get to that point, you know? You gotta keep, redoing an event till the past changes. At a sudden voice, I turned around to see Yayoi sitting there with a wry smile on her face. Of course not, but Club Prez, why was she here? I thought she was captured by Takaharo-san and taken back home. What? What? You're so confusing. Freaking, what is this? Yayoi-san? Yayoi-senpai? That would be the same as what Saki had called her. I thought I heard her call me. Of course, Yayoi was the one here, not Alice. I doubted she was hiding somewhere either.
なにそれ。そんなにアリスのことが気になっちゃうのかしら？
I wonder at the very least I know I'm not interested in her as a woman like I am with you. But I couldn't deny I was interested in Alice. I just had no idea why that was. I don't know. My other theory as to what's going on with Alice is something very similar to what's going on with Maya. I wonder if they're both kind of trapped in the same place, and one is choosing to act upon evil, and one's choosing upon to act like good, I guess. Like they're kind of like this balancing force. That's like my other theory is maybe they're both kind of dream people. You know, they're both only people we can interact through dreams through dreams. I don't know. I wonder if it is like a matter of a coma or if she's kind of trapped in a place too. I don't know. They're very interesting characters. They kind of balance each other out in like good and evil. But then at the same time, I don't know if Maya's purely evil. I don't really want to believe that. So I just have a lot of questions right now. No answers, of course. But Club Yayoi, I thought Takahara-san dropped you off.
その予定だったんだけど、トールの部屋に私のバッグを置きっぱなしでしょ？それ取って帰るって途中で降りたのよ。
There's something in it you need to get right away. In this cold, would it really be worth it to decline Takahara-san's offer for a ride home just to come back to get something from my place?
だって置いといたら、トールが私の下着とか勝手に出して変なことするんじゃないかと思って。
What?
そう言ったら、素直にこっち側に戻って下ろしてくれたわ。
I wouldn't do that. Why do you say that so suspiciously, huh?
今の否定するまで。
Yeah, exactly. There was a pause. Thank you. I wasn't even thinking there was something like that in
冗
there.
談よ、冗談。だけど、もしも部屋に置きっぱなしで、中に私の下着とか入ってるって気づいたら、変なことしてた？
Why are you pausing? I inadvertently hesitated upon hearing underwear by the time I realized it was too late. Yayoi gave me a disappointed
バ
look.
カね。そんな気になったら、私のことを呼べばいいじゃない。
Eh? You unannoyed?
呆れてるわよ。一応私、トールの恋人なんでしょ？なのに下着だけでいいとか言われたら、プライドが傷つくわ。
I don't know. I feel like women are so hard to please. Like, clearly he would enjoy that because it's yours. I think is what they're trying to imply here. Ignoring my bewilderment, Yayoi took my hand.
そんな想像で済ませるよりも、呼ばれれば私が泊まりに行ってあげるって言ってるの。
I think that's fair enough. It's definitely more enjoyable to do things with a real person, of course.
それにしてもって冷たいわね。なんでこんなになるまでほっとくのよ、もう。
I was just gonna warm them up when I got home. I had been cold, but I wanted someone to be with me, but...
それじゃあ帰るわよ。あ、そうだ。カバン取りに行くって言ってこっち来たけど、当然今日も泊まっていく気だから。
Wow, what a surprise. Never saw that coming. She'll go home for today. I said, repressing my feelings of wanting her to stay. She couldn't stay at my apartment forever, and it was probably be best for her to go home soon, so she didn't worry her
明
family.
日きちんと帰るわよ。まあ、ミヤも私がトールと仲良くすればするほど好都合だろうし、分かってて下ろしたんじゃないかしら。
I love what she meant that if Yayoi and I were a couple, then I couldn't be with Saki.
モテる男は大変ね。兄さん。
Nissan, huh? Right now, there's only one person whose attention I want.
じゃあそれはきちんと頑張ってもらわないと。帰れなんて言わないでほしいわ。
Actually, Yayoi, you should go home, because you know what's gonna happen? There's gonna be an 8 scene, and I'm gonna have to cut stuff out. You should just go home. Yayoi and I started out as club senpai and underclassmen. She was the one who first talked to me. I didn't know why she didn't put on her act when she talked to me from the very beginning, but...
なんてね。大丈夫よ、トール。私、あなたのこと本当に好きだもの。
Oh, that's very romantic. It didn't sound like she was joking at all, and I found myself unable to respond.
トールってば、そうやってきちんと言わないと不安になるでしょ？ほんと、まるで恋する乙女ね。
I don't know. I mean, I think it's nicer to, like, hear that somebody loves you out loud. I mean, of course, the actions that like you can do to show someone you love them, you know, like holding them, right? And clearly they did some other things that can kind of show that you love somebody, you know, if it's in that context. But it's sometimes just nice to hear it out loud. And your puts her index fingers to my lips, as if telling me not to say anything.
それじゃ早くトールの部屋に行って温まりましょう。
This girl pulling on my hand, what was she worried about? What couldn't she accept? I was vaguely anxious, but I still wanted to protect her. I do think it would be nice if Tohru kind of just accepted that they're a thing. Ooh, chapter 8, the beginning story. Okay. Let's go. I'm so excited. Why did they just have to wear such revealing clothing, guys? This dream or reality or whatever it was we were in was still as crazy as ever. I didn't know whether this was a dream or a daydream everyone was having in reality. But either way, when we fell asleep, we came to this place. This room, which was always ready for a tea party, was the only place that hadn't changed since we first started visiting it. Although the objects in this room hadn't changed, the number of people who gathered here gradually increased. At first, it was just me, Maya, and Alice. But we were soon joined by Saki, Hirosaka, and Yayoi, and then Maya left. And if you're wondering what was going on in this room now...
どうしたの兄さん。
Because of Saki, the pressure weighing on me was tremendous. Saki,
何？言いたいことがあるみたいだけど。
You know, actually, I have a sore throat. I don't really want to say anything right now. You know, it's crazy. We were sitting in our usual seats. In other words, Saki and I were sitting side by side on the sofa, unable to bear their crushing pressure coming from next to me. I couldn't look at Saki. I know what you're trying to say, but there are respectful reasons and circumstances behind that.
あれ？あれって何のことかしら。それに何が分かってるっていうのかしら。
Honestly, and I'm gonna say this from the perspective of somebody who is married, okay? The best thing you can say sometimes is nothing at all. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, sometimes the more you talk, the more they somehow, like, mend things into you saying something you didn't mean. They twist it, okay? Sometimes it's better to say less, and maybe sometimes just don't say anything at all. And I found that it actually works really well. Don't tell my wife that I said that to you guys, okay? Do not tell her, okay? Shit, Saki's in a seriously bad mood. Maybe it's because we were in a dream, but the pressure that came from Saki started looking like a black aura. You mustn't let yourself be controlled by that power, I wanted to say, but since it was my fault Saki was in this state to begin with, that seemed like it would be a wasted effort. I looked to Yayoi for help in silence, but she just flashed me a beautiful smile in return.
自力で頑張りなさい。
No, why have you forsaken me? Eh? She had no intention of helping me. She was an accomplice too, and the main reason for the situation.
理由や経緯ですか。
Yes. Reasons and circumstances. Like always, Hirosaka was sitting a little ways away and strumming her guitar.
けど、先輩が男の姿に戻るために他の手段はなかったんですか？
Oh yeah, probably. But this way was more fun.
他の手段って弥生とエッチしなくても戻れたんじゃなかったってそういう話？
And then there's Alice, who just straight up says it, just throws it out there. Apparently embarrassed by all this kind of talk, Alice's face was red as she asked Hirosaka this. If it embarrassed her, then she should have just kept her mouth shut, or maybe she was interested. She even stated the concrete method we use to turn me back into a guy, which everyone else had avoided saying. So maybe she actually liked talking about this sort of thing.
どうかしら。トールが男に戻ったのって結局男らしいところを刺激したからだと思ってるから。それってどういうこと？トールって情けないところあるけど別にめめしいわけでもサキちゃん以外にはへたれてるわけでもないから男らしくないってことないと思うんだけど。
Alice's casual statement stabbed like daggers into my heart. I was well aware that I was weak to
でも
Saki.
普段トールのやってることってお姉さんでも困らないことばかりだったでしょ？けど男でないとできないことができたから男に戻ったんじゃないかしら。
Which was apparently have sex. When she got to the something he could only do as a man part, Saki glared at me with cold eyes.
兄さんのエッチ。
What? No, I think Yayui's right. I think that's why I turned back into a guy. But just because this time was thanks to something sexual doesn't mean that's the only reason I turned back. Back then, I just thought I had to be a man in order to protect Yayoi.
戻った直後に弥生とエッチしたくせに。
Completely unrelated, actually.
ええ、ルートウィッチ先輩とセックスをしたのは戻った後ですしね。
I had to protect her through that. Yes, even though if you think about that, that's really ironic because we didn't use protection.
結局兄さんは弥生先輩みたいな人が好みなんですよね。
Everyone's words were like knives. What should I do?
トールは私とエッチしたくてたまらなくなったから男に戻ったんじゃなかったって言うの？
Yayoi said melodramatically, but more than that, it was because I thought I had to be a man in order to protect you. I turned back because I wanted to protect her. Although it was true that I lost my passion after that.
別に先輩が守らなくても、この女なら一人で生きていけると思うんですが。
I don't know. Despite appearances, she's actually pretty weak. Despite appearances. It was important, so I repeated it.
今私、彼氏になんかひどいこと言われたような気がするわ。
You imagined it. Anyway, gave an exaggerated pout. Hey, this is getting back at you for telling all the girls not to expect us to be in a relationship, and then you like went and said something completely different to me personally.
何よ、私にキスして男に戻った直後はもうバッキバキに固くしてたくせに。
I don't know how that works. Huh?
それなのに守りたかったなんて言うんだ。へえ、そうなのね。
Anyways, have you guys seen the weather outside? It's pretty nice. Yeah, it's pretty nice. All around, Saki started taking on a blackish red hue. Since I was sitting right next to her, I could even feel a sort of pain on top of the heaviness. Ah, my stomach hurt.
まったく、最近高原さんがやたらと私に優しいし、その理由を考えるとますます腹が立ってくるわ。
I don't control that, I'm sorry. She's been nice to me too. She even said she'd help me study for exams when I become a third year. By the way, Takahara-san was a really hard worker, having been a graduate of a prestigious university as well as having studied abroad. And she acted as a tutor for Saki anyway, so I would love her help if I could get it.
まあまあ、さきちゃんもケイコもトールに彼女ができたのを喜んであげようよ。私は先輩に彼女ができたのが腹立たしいんじゃなくて、こんな女を選んだことが腹立たしいんです。
Oh, you know, honestly, understandable. Yayoi is a character for sure.
男に戻るのにエッチが必要なら私相手でもいいじゃない。
Nope, it's more fun watching you get cucked, I guess. Far from giving their blessings, these two emitted an aura that was the polar opposite, tormenting me. Did I really need to do such a terrible thing? No, maybe I did. Or did I really do such a terrible thing?
なんだか後輩2人も納得いってないみたいだし、トールも胃が痛そうな顔してるわね。
Thank you. The one time you're gonna defend me, huh?
祝ってくれてるのもアリスだけだし。トール、もしかして私とエッチしたことを後悔してる？
No, I definitely think he does not. Why are you asking me that? Of course not.
本当？まあ、それならそれでいいんだけど、もしもトールがあれを一度だけの間違いというか。
I will say it was an interesting first time, and if you played the game and you see the scene, you would understand why. It was a very interesting kind of scene.
エッチなことがしたいだけの男の子としての劇場が抑えきれなかっただけっていうなら、なかったことにしてあげてもいいかなと思ったんだけど。
No, if he says that, that's worse, because then that just makes it seem like he would have done that with any of the girls, and I think that's more disrespectful to them than anything else. Acting like it never happened, everyone looked at her incredulously. What are you saying?
だってこれが原因で稽古はともかくさきちゃん相手にこれからずっとギスギスするのは辛いじゃない？
Glanced at Saki out of the corner of my eye, but she had an indescribable look on her face, unable to decide whether she should be happy or angry. The corners of her mouth were twitching.
私はあなたがそんな態度だから頭にくるんです。
Ooh, they're about to get
仲
into
間
it.
に来るって言われても、結構少し勘違いしてないかしら。別に私もトールをどうでもいいとは思ってないし、適当な気持ちでエッチまでしないわよ。お互いちょっとエッチな夢を見ただけ。そういうことにもできるって言ってるの。
Then Yayoi looked at
さ
Saki.
きちゃんだってまさかトールがエッチな夢見て、その相手が私だったからってずっと怒ってるわけにもいかないでしょ。
それはまあ確かにそうですけど、そういう意味の。
そうだよね。それにトールって夢の中でのこときちんと覚えていられるんだよね。
Please don't comment on that. Gentleman's agreement, okay? When I said this almost in tears, everyone backed down.
まあそれはそれとして、弥生だって初めてだったんじゃないの？
Alice asked Yayoi, apparently trying to change the subject. Her blushing face told us all we needed to know. I guess Alice was really interested in this topic.
初めてよ。もしかしてそこから私疑われてた？そうだとしたらショックなんだけど。
いえ、さすがにそこまではないと思ってましたけど。
Yayoi said nothing, but I could tell she was wondering how much they doubted her just then.
偶然先輩がそういう夢を見ただけで済ませるですか？
So I think that they could try to do that. I think, though, what needs to happen here is Tohru needs to acknowledge, yes, it did happen. Yes, I have feelings for Yayoi. I think this is what keeps getting him into trouble. Gets him into trouble with Saki, gets him into trouble with Maya. Apparently gets into trouble with Hirosaka a lot, and I think even Alice to some point, even though she kind of, pseudo gave her blessing, I guess. I think he gets in trouble with everybody when he's not willing to commit to anybody. When he's not willing to just say, yeah, we did have sex. Yes, I did enjoy it. And I want to keep doing that. And I want to commit, to one person, right? I think this just kind of leads everybody on. It gets them, I don't know, just bad feelings. I mean, they already have bad feelings to begin with. And then it's like, I just don't know why you're making it worse by just not really making that commitment and just doubling down on your decision. You guys did it. Okay, so what? I mean, you want to be in a relationship with her. You like her. You like all the other girls too, and you don't have to stop doing that. Obviously, you shouldn't be going around sleeping with all of them, right? But at the same time, you should show that you are a man. We just went through this whole ordeal, and I feel like a man would just say, yes, I do like her. You're going to take responsibility, and you're going to keep taking responsibility by making, a commitment towards her if that's who you really want to be with. And I feel like Tohru is going to continue to get in trouble until he's willing to do that. Hirosaka murmured. She seemed to not understand why Yayoi would say that. No matter what anyone says, I did that of my own will, and I didn't make that decision lightly. And of course, I didn't intend to take it back. Yes! Good.
確かに軽い気持ちで先輩がセックスしたがるなら、夢だろうが現実だろうが、蓮野さんがとっくに先輩に押し倒されてるでしょうし。
Yes, that's a great observation, actually. That's a perfect observation, yes. If he really did take sex lightly, if he really just wanted to have sex with all the girls, he would have done so. They've told him already that they would be willing to do it with him if he really made a move, but he hasn't made a move because he's not that type of guy. He wants, and this is my own opinion, okay? I think sex is a much more better and maybe even magical thing when it's with someone you love and care about rather than just a casual thing. I think you give it power when it's with someone you really truly care about.
平坂さん、何言ってるの？いや、まあ、自分でもそうなったかなって自覚してるところはあるんだけど。
My two underclassmen continued a topic that wasn't very pleasant to me.
やっぱり金髪巨乳が決め手？
Those aren't the deciding factors, okay? But there's certainly positives here. I'm appalled that you would think that was the reason I lost control. I didn't hate them, but that was a different matter. And that wasn't a deciding factor.
私の金髪も綺麗なブロンドってわけでもないしね。ほら、ハーフだから。
She toyed with a tuft of her hair and let out a light sigh. Then she seemed to notice the gazes being aimed at her.
何よケイコ、そんな顔して。さっきまであんなに好きかって言ってたのに、何いきなり遠慮してるのよ。
ああ、いえ、同じハーフでもやっぱり姉妹で髪の色って違って出るものなんだなと思って。
It goes without saying that Hirosaka didn't get along with Yayoi, but even if she sometimes snapped at Yayoi, Hirosaka still rarely said anything that would hurt her unnecessarily. She had probably hesitated because she wondered if that would hurt her.
まあ、姉妹でもどうにるかは変わるわよね。
I was probably the only one who knew Asahi wasn't Yayoi's real sister. I was the only one who had seen that dream, so it was probably intuition or something that made Hirosaka hesitate. While I was thinking that, Yayoi looked at me like she wanted to say something. Why are you looking at me that way, Yayoi? You normally just speak your
兄
mind.
弟でも似てたり似てなかったりでしょって例を出そうとしたら、私以外に兄弟がいるのがトールしかいなかったからよ。
Oh, I see. In other words, I seem to recall you guys saying I resembled Maya when I was a girl. Seeing how easily I spoke Maya's name, Saki and Alice looked a little bit surprised. Even if siblings look similar, they tend to start changing around this age. Yayoi too had probably not said it because she was worried about me. She probably showed more restraint about that sort of thing than most people.
けどトールって顔立ちはマイヤに結構似てるわよね。逆？マイヤがトールに似てるのかしら。
Either way, I wonder if we do look alike. Even if you compared Maya to my reflection in the mirror, I didn't think you could tell we were siblings if you didn't already know.
兄さんの場合、いつも不機嫌そうというか、夢見のせいでだるそうだからそうは見えないんだけど。
Yeah, I mean, Tohru is constantly dreaming. He constantly has these dreams, and they're very, like, intense dreams. These aren't relaxing, you know, walks in the park here. This is very, strenuous, I'd imagine, on his mind, right? So he has that going on when he's asleep. He's always doing something when he's awake. I mean, and then he just doesn't really get much alone time either. Like, I can only imagine how hard that is on him, having that all the time. And maybe I'm just saying that because I'm introverted, and if I'm around too many people, or just around somebody for too long during the day, I kind of go stir crazy. I mean, I like to have my alone time. I like to have my time to think, to do things without worrying about somebody watching me do it, you know? And I'm not saying dirty things, okay? Like, let's clarify here. I'm just talking about I don't have to meet other people's expectations. I can just kind of relax and I can play around on my phone. I can play some video games. I can go take a nap, you know. I can eat some food, and I don't have to worry about like pleasing somebody that's around me, right? I think that's just something as an introvert I appreciate, and it's something that I feel like would really be hard, even maybe for people who are a little bit more extroverted. Not that I get that impression from Tohru. I definitely think he can be a more introverted person at times, and he's just been kind of thrust in a situation where he's around girls constantly, and I mean, that can be difficult sometimes.
あの子が悩んだり不機嫌そうにすれば先輩に似るのかもしれませんね。
I think I've hardly ever seen Maya looking worried.
トールもみんなも思ったより大したことないみたいに話すのね。
Yayoi, who was worried about bringing up this subject, sounded a little exasperated. There's no point in worrying about it, and it wouldn't change the fact that Maya is my
そ
sister.
れはそうなんでしょうけど。
Did that have something to do with how Yayoi acted like she didn't know how to behave towards Asahi lately? It was almost like she didn't know how to deal with it. Wonder what she's so concerned about. It was true that Yayoi was probably an only child, and even though Asahi was her sister, they weren't really related. Little sister who wasn't related by blood, though the circumstances were different. Yayoi and I did have that in common.
兄さん、今何考えてたの？
Saki seemed to notice I was thinking about something other than Maya. She had asked her question casually instead of suspiciously, but I had no intention of talking about Yayoi and Asahi's connection. Just like Yayoi was saying, we're in a dream right now, right? Tapped my foot on the floor.
実は私とエッチしたことは本当にトールのエッチな欲望が見せた夢でした。
いっそそうであった方が私も気が休まります。
だけど残念ながら合意の上なのよね。だけどこれって初体験にカウントしていいのかしら？
You know, normally two people would never have the same dream, and they would never be like they're interacting in the dream. So I don't think there's really like a basis for this kind of thing. I would say in the circumstances of Hapymaher, yes, I would count that. We're going back to that.
普通はカウントされないような夢の中でのことだし。
Yeah, normally this wouldn't count, but this is not just an ordinary dream. We had sex in a dream, or we both remember it. Normally such things wouldn't count. In fact, if you did count them, you would probably be looked at with pity.
まあどうせ兄さんのことだから目を覚ましたら覚ましたで普通にことに及びそうですけど。やだ、その時が改めて私の初体験になるの？なんかちょっとドキドキしちゃう。
少しは慎みとか持ったらどうですか？
Hirosaka was obviously annoyed at Yayoi for acting bashful.
セックスした相手と女の子しかいないような場所で私が言いよどんだりしたらかえって鼻につくと思わない？
そうだね。そうなった場合、稽古なら何かまととぶってるんですかとか言うんじゃないかな。
Hirosaka seemed to realize that she probably would say that, so she kept her mouth shut.
それで兄さんはここが夢だからって何を考えていたの？まさか早く本物の弥生先輩とエッチなことがしたいとか考えてたわけじゃないでしょうね。
Why is the text like that? No, I was wondering when the stream was going to end. I'd shaken free of Maya, and just when I thought we woken up, we were thrown into this world. And the craziness hadn't stopped since then. Hirosaka became a princess, I became a woman, and a whole other lot of weird stuff has happened since Christmas. It almost seemed likely that the three of us staying at the House would continue to... the three staying at the Hosono house would continue to do so even after we woke up.
あら、トールはこの夢を終わらせたいんだ。
You don't? Teacup in hand, she looked out the window. As always, the outside was like a strange shadow world flower garden.
急いで終わらせる必要性は感じてないかしら。マヤだってあんな風に出てくることはもうないでしょうし。
I don't know if I believe that. I was unable to confidently declare that Maya wouldn't appear anymore. I'd definitely shaken free of her, and I thought that I had shaken free of her long ago, too. Yeah,
ず
but...
っと眠ったままで問題がないなんて思ってるんですか？
まさか。だけど変に起きようとしたらまたこの夢が過剰反応してクリスマスの時みたいな大騒ぎになるかもしれないでしょ？
It does sound pretty likely. We seem to be tied to this dream, meaning that it often turned into a big commotion if we tried to do
だった
anything.
ら起きるならそれは自然に任せてとりあえず夢の中でも普段通りにしてればいいんじゃないのかしら。
Amy looked genuinely calm as she sipped her tea.
起きられるか。
Yeah, I think if anything, this situation's kind of interesting for Alice.
アリスさん、どうしたんですか？
Because what if this is just normal to her?
起きたらみんなに会おうねって言ってたけど、私本当にみんなに会えるのかなって思って。
Alice laughed bashfully and reached for a pastry on the
だ
table.
ったら弥生が言うみたいにこのままでもいいのかもって思っちゃった。
Would it be best to wake up or stay like this? I didn't want to be captured in a dream again, so I believed we had to wake up.
大丈夫。今度は私もついてるから。
I couldn't tell what she was thinking. Maybe she saw through me. I reached for a pastry on the table. It's definitely a weird situation, to say the least. It's like, what is the best option? Who knows? Somehow or other, we reached the new school term. I was speed walking down the hallway as the impending danger of being late loomed over me. Already on the verge of tardiness, they would be checking attendance in class by now. Yeah, I was pretty much tardy already. Sorry I'm late. On the first day of the new term, I flew into the classroom. Homeroom was already underway. The teacher glanced at me, took the attendance record, writing something down as they continued to talk. I was probably being marked as late. Giving them a sidelong glance, I went as quietly as I could to my seat.
どうしたトール？普通の遅刻なんて珍しいじゃないか。
Tatsuya spoke to me as soon as I sat down. Yeah, I'm surprised myself. Asahi seemed curious too since homeroom had started. She just glanced back at me. I didn't know why I had been suddenly late either. I'd hardly ever been late like this before. Only I might have been late because I couldn't move as a result of the nightmares or fatigue. That tea party in the room continued almost every night, but that wasn't a nightmare. It didn't make sense that a dream like that continuing would cause me not to get enough sleep, and I had a nightmare I couldn't wake up
トル
from.
お前さ普通に寝坊なんてしないだろ何時間も動けなくて遅れるか結局そのまま休むよな
That's true.
んあれ
What is it? Perhaps having noticed something, Tetsuya tilted his
いや
head.
お前さ朝は咲ちゃんに起こしてもらってるんじゃなかったっけか今日はもしかして兄弟揃って遅刻か
It was true that Saki had been coming to my apartment a lot recently. I didn't want to imagine that would happen to me if I was half asleep or slept in even though Saki came. No, I haven't seen Saki today, so I don't know. Besides, it's not like she wakes me up every day. Lately, I've been involved in enough drama that I woke up on time almost every morning, but I didn't say that out loud.
そうだったかじゃあなんで遅刻したんだよ体調か
I just overslept. Apparently getting annoyed, the teacher was starting to glare at us.
やべよしわかったその辺は後でな
Wait, Tetsuya, tell me what we're talking about in homeroom and what's been decided. I didn't know what had happened since I'd come late, and thanks to Tetsuya talking to me, I didn't know what had happened since I arrived
仕方
either.
ねえな
I know I asked, but why are you acting all haughty? They continued to talk, so I ended up starting the new term by suddenly being late. Yeah, talking in class and then not paying attention. Not a good luck for our first day, but sure. There was no homework on the first day of the term. After the opening ceremony and homeroom ended, we would just go home. Everything ended in the morning, and Tetsuya grabbed me by the shoulder when I was thinking about what to do
Yosh.
next.
そんじゃトル今日何があったか聞かせてもらおうか
What do you mean?
何かあったんだろうよく考えれば咲ちゃんがこんな日にお前を起こしに行かない方がおかしいだろうが
Ah, normally Saki always came to wake me up on important days like this. There were times when it was a real pain that Tetsuya saw right through me because we'd known each other for so long. She just didn't come today. Even Saki couldn't afford to babysit me all the
そん
time.
なこと言ってお前が何かして怒らせたんじゃねえのか
Well, I did make her a little mad, you could say, but our relationship is kind of on the edge. Tetsuya narrowed his
お
eyes.
前何したんだエロいことかエロくないことかつうかギリギリって休みの間に何あった
Why do you assume it's dirty? Because it was. Classroom was filled with a listlessness characteristic of a new school term. The school having ended in the morning and people seeing each other for the first time in a while, it was pretty loud. It'd probably be okay if I said it here, but there was something, but I don't really want people to hear it.
まさかお前やっぱり咲ちゃんに何かエロいことでもしたんじゃないだろうな
No, I did not. Tetsuya's voice wasn't loud, but the classroom fell silent in an instant. Oh no, I didn't do anything to
じゃ
Saki.
あさきちゃんじゃない誰かに何かしたの
Oh no, why are you so observant? Asuhi cornered me with her innocent question. Wait, huh? Yeah, Club Prez went home. Didn't you hear anything, Asuhi?
あうんお姉ちゃんなら昨日帰ってきたけど何お姉ちゃん絡みなのかな
No. Well, yeah, we didn't even tell her sister. I could see Asuhi jump a little as if she suddenly realized something. I could only offer her a wry smile in return.
なんだなんだ俺だけのけ者か何俺の彼女と通じ合ってやがる
And don't worry about it. Don't instantly start strangling me. Asuhi let out a sigh at the sight of Tetsuya and me fooling around.
トールくんこの後ちょっとお茶でもして帰らない哲也くんにも話したくないなら二人で
トール
I don't mind if you're there, Tetsuya, so let's go. He let out a resentful groan as I forcefully removed his hands from me. I felt a little worried about the fact that Yayoi hadn't even told Asuhi. Yeah, freaking Tetsuya was about to murder us in the classroom. Gosh. This isn't the classroom. 2 days after the new term started was a non-school day. Okay, I think we're gonna end the episode a little bit early. We'll end it here. I think it's a good spot. We just started our new school term. We're now in chapter 8, which I believe is Yayui's. Hopefully, thankfully. I'm pretty sure we're there now. This should be her route because we're talking about her and we had some things come out, you know? Anyways, though, we'll end it here and kind of see us where the new episode takes us. But anyways, Interesting start to Yayui's route. I kind of want to see where this goes because she didn't tell Asahi, so I'm curious to know kind of what's going on there. We knew she kind of was having some problems with her relationship with Yayui. Yayui is having problems with her relationship with Asahi. Maybe just feeling a little bit disconnected from her. So we'll have to see how this dynamic changes now that she's in a relationship too, technically. Maybe it's just not super open yet. Anyways, a lot to think about, a lot that I'm sure is going to happen soon. So we'll save that for the next episode, and I'll see you guys then.